So we are actually going to talk about one country which has got a huge GP shortage, doctor salaries in Australia. According to the 2026 reports which we have got in Australia, we have compared it according to the INR, which is India, and we have compared it according to the US dollars. For GPs specifically, the work-life structure is arguably the most favorable in the entire profession. You're actually going to get that much of salary. It does not fluctuate, it's not dynamic, that if the patient flow is more, you're getting it more. Welcome everyone to Academically. How are you guys doing? And this video, which I'm going to discuss about today, is particularly about the doctors. Being a doctor myself, I do realize that it's really difficult for you to manage the professional and personal life. This has been one of our, I wouldn't say it as a complaint, but it is actually the reality of us doctors, right? We always try to balance between our family and our professional commitments. Reason being, doctors is one such category which can be called on for work anytime during the day, anytime during the night, and you will have to be available because you are the one people handling the lives of people around you. So that is what makes you a very special person in the society, as well as a very valuable and important person who has to be available whenever it's needed. So we're going to talk about the doctor's life today, everyone, and there's one thing which I want to tell you. This video is actually a tribute to all the doctors out here who are watching me, who follow us on Academically, and who are always there with us throughout. Being a doctor myself, I know how difficult it is to become a doctor in whichever country you are, because we are such people who have to study a lot. It must be a dream of your parent which you're fulfilling. It may be a dream of yours which you're fulfilling. But the one thing which we are not able to gauge is the kind of opportunities we have as GPs, as general practitioners, be it your own country or be it in the other countries. So we are actually going to talk about one country which has got a huge GP shortage, which I had told you in the previous video. And I'm going to show you what life of a general practitioner, which they call in Australia, not a doctor, life of a doctor in Australia. Let's get started. So in today's video, guys, we'll talk about life as a doctor in Australia, the salary, number of hours which you have to work for, the family lifestyle, and a proper guide throughout. Let's get started. Talking about the key takeaways, we're going to talk about doctor salaries in Australia, the working hours and work-life balance, family life, schooling, healthcare and lifestyle for doctors, APRA registration and types of IMG pathways, public versus private healthcare career opportunities, future trends including telehealth, locum work and rural incentives. What are the perks which you get as a doctor in Australia? That's the topic of ours today. So that is a full picture by specialty and experience, careers, how many hours do doctors actually work, what's your family life and all that is what we're going to discuss. The first topic which we are going to discuss in detail is doctor salaries in Australia. According to the 2026 reports which we have got, this is the full picture by specialty and experience which I am going to show you. This is a very small chart which is salary by career stage. Let's see what it is. Suppose if you are an intern, your annual salary is somewhere around 72,000 Australian dollars to 80,000 Australian dollars. If we convert it to INR, it turns out to be around 55 lakh annually, and that is the annual salary in US dollars. So we have sort of compared it in Australia. We have compared it according to the INR, which is India, and we have compared it according to the US dollars. So this is the currency comparison we are showing you. Similarly, if you're a resident there, it ranges up to 1 lakh AUD annual salary, and which is around 67 lakh Indian rupees and 70,600 US dollars. As you move on to higher positions, as you move on more than experience, like we've been talking about AMC pathway, the Australian Medical Council pathway, which is one of the pathways for you if you want to practice as a medical professional or as a GP there in Australia. But do you know about it? If you have more than 3 years of experience in your home country, you can opt for a different pathway after AMC, which is called as WBA, Work-Based Assessment Pathway. right? If you're having a good AMC part 1, if you've passed and if you have nice number of experience, apart from going to AMC 2, you can go for New Zealand as well. So your experience definitely gets counted, be it for the salary range, be it for the kind of pathway you need to follow to migrate to that particular country, be it USA, be it Australia, but Australia that specifically. So again, let's come back to the table of ours. So registrar, specialist trainee, this is the score, around 1.10 crore. Right? If you talk about new consultant, fellow consultant, it's 2 crore, more than 2.5 crores. Vocationally registered GP, around 2 crore. If you're an established specialist in Australia, you're actually earning around 4 crore Indian rupees, like I'm talking about the INR. And if you're a senior surgeon and high earning private specialist, it rounds up to about 6 crore plus INR. So do you see how high the salary range is in Australia as you move on with the experience? So suppose even if you started from an intern, guys, you won't go down. It'll any which ways climb upwards. So that is one thing which is very, very catchy, which is very, very important. So salary by specialty. If you talk about salary by specialty, let's talk about the different departments. Definitely, if you talk about neurosurgery, it ranges around 8 lakh AUD. If you talk about cardiothoracic, it's 4 crores, like around 5 crores. Orthopedic is the same. Anesthesia, it's around 4.12. Dermat, 4.5. Dermat is a very important department there in Australia because people are very much, aware of dermatology and the derma cases, the skin related cases. Intensive care medicine is around 4 crore. Same goes for the emergency medicine. General practice, 4 crore plus. Psychiatry, again a very important domain in AMC or in Australia, 4.12 crore. If you talk about pediatrics, it's somewhere around 2.7 crore. This is about the salary by specialty. So guys, as one line here mentioned in our blog, did you know amongst the top 51 highest earning occupations in Australia by wage income, 32 are medical practitioner roles according to the Australian Tax Office. Medicine does not just pay well, it dominates the entire earning landscapes of the country, Australia. And they are having huge GP shortage, guys. They will be happy to invite you to Australia to come to their country and practice. The next question which arises is, how many hours do doctors actually work in Australia? See, there is an hourly limit which has been given to actually help you balance the work and your life, right? So as you can see, psychiatric work, the fewest average hours, approximately 38.2 hours per week. Intensive care physicians, 54.1, general practitioners, 38 to 42, surgical registrars, 50 to 60 hours, emergency medicine specialist work shift-based roster that averages 40 to 48 hours per week. So that is the basic difference. And what have they written? For GPs, specifically, the work-life structure is arguably the most favorable in the entire profession because most GP practices close at 6 p.m. on weekdays and are not open on Sundays. How's family life as a doctor in Australia? The honest assessment, you can see what genuinely works for doctors' family because ultimately you have to, carry your family along with you. So you're actually coming down to the point that you're maintaining the work-life balance. And how do you do that? We are actually going to talk about. So school systems are strong and accessible. Parental leave is there. Outdoor lifestyle is not a marketing slogan. Healthcare for your own family is excellent. So Sir Dr. Akram was telling us today, we had a training right before this particular video is getting shot, and he was telling us about the proper medicine card wherein the entire healthcare cost is being taken up by the Australian government. You do not have to pay a single penny, right? The pressure point in a word, taking a leave for cost of living, significant. Doctors, great salary. Training years are still demanding. Families can be placed nicely. Rural placements come with isolation. So that is one of the things. The public versus private, how the two systems shape day-to-day doctor's life. See, basically, if I talk about that, there's a guaranteed base salary regardless of patient volume. You're actually going to get that much of salary. It does not fluctuate. It's not dynamic. That if the patient flow is more, you're getting it more. If the patient flow is less, you're getting it less. That's not the case. Okay. And yes, definitely talking about the international medical graduates, what is the registration process? You have, let's talk about the processes. So first of all is competent authority pathway. If you're trained in UK, Ireland, New Zealand, Canada or USA, you do not have to sit for the AMC exam. just do the registration, document verification, and a period of supervised practice. Moving to the standard pathway, AMC, MCQ CAT, a computer adaptive written exam, and MC Clinical, for which Academically prepares you for, and also the MC Clinical, we prepare you for MC Clinical as well as English assessment as well. And the specialist pathway for IMGs, I was talking about this with existing. If you have an existing specialist qualification with a prompt amount of experience, you can definitely go to Australia through this specialist pathway. We've also talked about the taxation, superannuation, and building long-term wealth as an Australian doctor. Go check out that blog. We've also talked about telehealth, emerging roles. And so if you don't want to practice as a GP, there are what other opportunities are there for you to practice there in Australia. You can be a telehealth expert. You can be, having worked in occupational medicine and workforce health, medical aesthetics, medical AI, which is one of the very leading and progressing profession nowadays, and clinical informatics. So to conclude with, the salary figures are compelling, the lifestyle is genuinely extraordinary, but the deepest reason doctors stay in Australia and why the queue of those wanting to arrive keeps growing is something more fundamental than either, because we're going to talk about all the specification in this particular blog on the Academically website. Go check that out. Please like, share and subscribe our channel and comment down if you have any question related to it. Thank you.